If it hasn't already, there will come a day where you need to write some sort of script on your machine to do something, move files, change file names, etc. You can use Bash to do that, but Bash is kind of gross. So did you know that you can use a language that you already know and love, or at least the language I already know and love, in JavaScript to build a CLI? Well, in this video, let's take a look at how to do just that using Node to build CLIs. What's up, everyone? If you're new to the channel, my name is James Q. Quick, and I do weekly videos on web development related topics, and I love JavaScript, which you probably do too if you're here watching the video. So before we actually dive into how to create CLIs, command line interfaces with Node, I want to first shout out kind of the master of Node CLI, which is Ahmad Awais. And he created the course Node CLI and has agreed to do an exclusive giveaway for this channel for 3 free copies of the course. And then the next 20 people after that will be able to use a link in the description below to get a 20% discount off of the course, which is pretty neat. Now, to be eligible for a free copy of the course, just leave me a comment below with why you think you would be most interested or what you would gain out of this course. All you have to do is comment below for that. Anyone else is interested in details, this is going to go way much deeper. That's not English, way deeper than what we're going to cover in this video, but we will cover the basics. Now, there's lots of different ways to create CLIs using JavaScript. There's a bunch of different tools, and I think this article from Twilio on the Twilio blog kind of highlights this. Here's a bunch of different tools that you can use. I've seen a lot of people use Inquire for taking in arguments and stuff. I've heard of Chalk and Meow and YArgs. There's a lot of different tools that you can use to put together, but Ahmad Awais has helped us again with a package called create-node-cli. So this is going to package a couple of different tools together to make it as easy as possible for us to create a Node CLI. So let's go ahead and give this a shot. So first we'll run this npx command create-node-cli. So I'm going to go over to my instance of VS Code, and I'm going to cd out of a directory from my test one, and then I'm going to run this command npx create-node-cli. Now this is going to ask us a series of questions to help initialize this project with some different pieces of metadata that we'll need, like the name, description, a start command, stuff like that. So we'll let this kind of do its thing, and then we'll answer those questions and start working on our CLI. All right, so here is the prompt here. So CLI name, we're going to do Chuck Norris as this, because we're going to use the Chuck Norris API to display a Chuck Norris joke, which should be fun. So the command, we'll call this joke. We'll call that joke, and then gets a joke from the Chuck Norris API. This API is free and it's kind of fun to use. We'll see that in a second. We'll say unlicensed, author is James Q. Quick. Email, there's my email. Don't email me, please. The author URL, there's my website, jamesqquick.com. And it's going to take all that information and kind of bundle this together and create some files for us. Let's let it do its thing, and then we'll come back and actually it's done. So after you've done this, I'm going to open this up. I'm going to use code and then -r to reuse the same window that I'm in, and open up the Chuck Norris project. And then we'll take a look at what we have. There's not too much going on, but there's a decent amount going on here. So let's first take a look at what we got. Let's look in the package.json, and you see we've got our metadata here. This will actually need to be Chuck Norris with a dash for NPM to like this, or for NPM. It's got our general details here. It's got our commands registered, Chuck Norris and joke. It's got author information, keywords, and then it's got dependencies down here. So Chalk is a dependency for making colorful logs. Meow is going to help us parse out the parameters that people pass along in the command that they call. And then these are all helper functions that Ahmad Awais has created in NPM himself. So if you look in not Meow, but CLI welcome, this is by him. CLI Meow, CLI welcome again. So there's a few different packages that he created to help put all this stuff together and make it as easy as possible to get started. So that's the package.json. That's the stuff that is included. And then if we look inside of the index.js, it requires a couple of different files, the init, the CLI, and log. And really, these are kind of just simple helpers here. We'll take a look at those in a second. So you can grab the input and the flags. The flags are going to be like if you were to run some sort of if I were to say node-v, Node-v is a flag. So -v is going to tell us or tell Node, hey, when I run this command, since I passed this -v flag, I want you to tell me what the version is. As opposed to if I just ran Node, this actually runs the Node REPL. So I would actually be writing Node code in here, or I could run console log hello. So that's actually running Node right there. So we can get access to the input. So if we were to run Node and then some random string, we could do that. Node doesn't support that, obviously. But we can support just regular input like this, or we can have these flags that we get access to. So that's going to be the input and the flags, and we'll take a look at that here in a second. All right, so well, let's go ahead and look at what these things are, these helper files. So inside of init, this basically just sends a welcome message. And let's go ahead and actually run this. So we can do a ./index.js, and it says here that permission is denied. So for, let's do an ls-la of index.js. These are commands on Mac, so you may have different ones. But if you've ever done any bash scripts, you'll know that there are, or worked in Linux or Mac, you'll know that there's permissions associated with given files. Now to run this file on my Mac, I need to update the permissions so that it can be ran as an executable. It can be executed, so you can execute this file. So what I can do, this is a little cheat, but change mod is change those permissions that are associated with this file, and then 777 index.js. Now I won't go into detail about where these numbers come from, but basically 777 is going to add all of these permissions. Now it's not necessarily best practice to do this. It's just the easiest way to show you this right now without going into details about what those numbers correspond to, because it gets into binary, which is actually kind of cool. Anyway. So if I run this, run that command, and then go back and do an ls-la, you can see I've got read, write, and execute permissions for this file. So now I can do ./index.js, and it's going to run this file. So what's the first thing that it does? Well, the first thing that it does, actually the only thing that it does in this case, is it runs inside of here, it runs this init, and then the init runs a welcome message. So this welcome message here will add a title, a tagline, a description, a version, background color. You can see all of these things right here. So that's all that does is just print out this little bit here. All right. And then inside of our function here, we can check the input to see if it includes a help as part of the input. So if we were to run index.js and then pass in help, now you'll see it's going to print out all of this information like the commands and the options. So there's the different commands that you can run. You can run help. That's the only one so far. We'll add a joke command, and then you can get these different properties for configuring how we work with this thing. We'll talk about that in a second. So the input includes, so if it includes help, we'll do CLI and then call show help. That just shows that help message. And then we've got a debug flag here, where if we were to run this and do -d, this is going to put it in debug mode, and now you can see it's debug logging the different flags that we have. So notice that these flags, we haven't done anything with this yet, but they're assigned different values inside of a JavaScript object. Well, where do those come from? Those come from the actual CLI flag, or CLI file. So there's a flags definition here for clear, no clear, so on and so on. And I actually don't like no clear. I would rather this not clear. So let's do, oh, actually it did that. No clear is, we actually want this to be true because I don't necessarily like when it clears. So if I run this again, notice I can, actually that should, not that one. I want this one. So do I want to clear the console? No, I do not want to clear the console. So now if I run this again, you'll see I can scroll up and I see the previous runs as well. So that's the one that I'm looking for. Anyway, you can see how these flags work, and then they get passed into meow, and it uses the meow helper thing. Anyway, what that does is it gives us access to, again, that input and the flag. So all of this is taken care of for us. Now let's get into the fun part where we actually want to work with the Chuck Norris API. So let's pull open the Chuck Norris API. I've got the Poke API here too for Pokemon. If you'd like to see a video doing the same thing but with Poke API with Pokemon, let me know in the comments below as well. So what we can do is we can make an HTTP request to this random endpoint, and it's going to return to us a joke. So this is has a value here that is associated with the Chuck Norris joke. So to be able to make this HTTP request, let's install Axios. All right, and then we can import Axios above. So const Axios. And then what we want to do is just make a GET request to that endpoint. But we only want to do that if the input dot includes joke. So if we're running the joke command, now we can do axios.get and then pass in that Chuck Norris API. And this will be in, we will await that response, and we'll just say response equals await axios.get. All right, and then let's log this out. So let's log the response. Okay, so hopefully what we're able to do now is make a call to the index and then pass in joke. All right, so it gets that joke, and what we need to do is outside of the data, so out of data, we want to grab the value. So it returns back data in here, and then we want to grab the value. So let's run this again. Cool. There we go. All right, so one of the things, I actually don't love that because that used a word that I wouldn't typically include on here. I blurred it out so you didn't see it. But one of the things that we might want to do is add a flag here to make sure that these are appropriate. So let's actually look down at where are the flags? Maybe on a different page. So I'll make sure to include both links in here for you. Okay, here's the one that I'm actually looking for, which is basically the same, except this has more documentation. And what we want to make sure is that we are able to filter this by appropriate. So we want explicit. Yes, so different categories such as nerdy or explicit. So we want to add in a little bit of text here to that request to make sure that we only grab appropriate ones. So inside of this URL, we'll paste this in. And this is saying limit this to nerdy ones. So we only want nerdy jokes in this case. So this one should be a little bit more appropriate. So if I run this, what do we get here? Failed with a 400. Let me make sure this is the right URL. I think this is coming from a different place. All right, so let me copy in this one. We started with the wrong base URL. That's okay. I'll make sure to include the link to the right API there. So this has the ability to do the limit to nerdy. And now let's run this. And it gets data.value, and then I think we want the actual joke itself. So one more time, we should see a joke. So Chuck Norris is the ultimate mutex, all threads fear him. This should be relevant for us as programmers. Kind of funny, kind of cool. So what if we wanted to conditionally add this nerdy thing by default? Well, we can add or actually make the user decide that they want only nerdy. So let's go to our CLI file, and in the flags, let's add a new flag for what was the property called? Limit to. So let's call this, we could just call it limit, or let's call this type actually. So type, and let's say this is going to be a type of string. Let's say alias is going to be T. So they'll type in -T, and then the description will be what kind of jokes do you want? And then we'll say explicit or dirty. All right, so we'll make sure that they know they should only pass us explicit or dirty, okay? So then we should have access to this inside of our flags. So let's log out our flags up here. And let's run the same command again. So this looks like we didn't get the limit. I think that's because we didn't have a default value. So let's do -T and then some text, and now see what we get. And we see we get type here as SFS. So it wasn't included in the flags because there wasn't a value. So we could provide this a default value, and we could go to our CLI and add in a default. So we could say default is explicit, or excuse me, not explicit. No, explicit or dirty. That's not what we want. Wow, I need to be much more appropriate. Explicit or nerdy, not dirty. Wow. And so we will say a default in here is going to be nerdy. All right. So then we should see this even if we don't pass in a flag, even if we don't pass in -T, we should see that type here is nerdy. And then what we can do is we can grab and put inside of this URL we can say limit to, and then inside of here, we can include our, let's do a template variable. I've got a video on ES6 template literal strings if you want to go check that out. But inside of here, we want to do our flags dot and then type. So now by default, we should still get a nerdy one. We're not going to show explicit again, because that's bad. But this one is garbage collection, so it's relevant here with the default. And then we could also pass in the -t of nerdy. All right, cool. So it gets us another one, and we could do something else to say like, if, let's see, if flags.type does not equal nerdy, and flags.type. Actually, when I was going to say if flags.type does not equal explicit, we can just set flags.type to nerdy. But we could also simplify this to say if it's not, actually this should have been a not, but if it's not explicit, so if it's not, and I misspelled it again, if it's not explicit, then we could just change it to nerdy. So even if it was nerdy, it will now be nerdy again. It just simplifies that logic. So if it's not explicit, then we know we want it to be nerdy. So by the time we get here, we know we have a flags type that is going to be useful. So anyway, there's a million different things that you can do with these CLIs. You can work with, I think a common thing would be working with the file system, FS module in Node to move files, rename files, create files, whatever you want to do. You could do something kind of whimsical here. Like I said, if you'd like to see a video on using the Polka API to build a CLI with this, let me know. But I really like that this is configurable to the point where you can just add in your objects into flags. It's already broken out into its own file. And then you can handle that stuff and check for whatever you want and respond however you want based on what's here. So this is able to respond back in this case with this Chuck Norris joke. So I hope that was kind of a cool video. Again, if you're interested in learning more about creating CLIs with Node, make sure to check out nodecli.com from Ahmad Awais. We've got 3 free copies that you can participate in just by commenting below to tell me why you're interested or what you'd like to get out of that course. And then for the rest of you, there are 20 coupons for 20% off of the course that you can check out with the description with the link in the description below. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, thanks, and I'll catch you next time. Later.